Hello, Guardians, and welcome. We're in LA. This is Arrow Knight, and here with me,
Cyborg,
and
the Blue Ranger.
Blue Ranger's here in orange. If
In
you didn't
orange.
already know that.
in case you didn't
In
pick
case
that up.
you missed that.
Look at any picture or stream from the event. Front and center, you will
I
see
think-
a large orange man.
Yeah.
The only one in orange.
Pick your favorite content creator. Go through their Twitter. You'll find my picture of me
Somewhere.
Everywhere.
I quote somebody. I don't remember who, as saying it was the best business decision I've ever made.
Accurate.
Definitely. Well,
Well, like we said, we're live from LA. This is episode 96, part 1, and we're here to give you our fresh take from the Destiny 2 gameplay reveal event.
obviously, you guys know we're not in our usual setting, so if you hear a little extra noise,
Yeah, we're in a hotel room.
yes.
So make sure you hold it against them harshly. They will in no way be offended by that.
And for the first time, face to face.
Face to face, yes.
Recording the show.
We're saving the
Sitting
steaks
live.
for Guardian Con, though. We had
Steaks,
pizza today.
Yeah, we just decided to go for pizza. That seemed reasonable.
I'm too
All right.
sweaty for steak.
All right, so here, since we got to kick this off, let's skip all the hullabaloo. I'll ask you guys a question to start off this because there's so much to talk about. It's kind of ridiculous. Give me your very first number one thing that you're excited about. Go.
4v4 in Crucible.
All right.
Zavala's adolescence. The beginning of him as a guardian is the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. I'm gonna have dreams about it tonight. It was
That's a good one.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Cyborg?
I think I'm the most excited about exploration.
Yeah.
that's
Very cool.
that's my second one for sure.
That's pretty
If I'm picking something that isn't for laughs, it's
right.
We got chills many moments in that presentation, but the exploring of the world
the map.
Yeah.
is
Oh.
something that's going to be so cool and something that we want for sure.
Hopefully, there's some content behind that hype.
Yeah.
It's not just talk.
Initial response, because I'm doing all my map clearing right now in Horizon Zero Dawn, it looks and feels that way from a viewer perspective. And if
Yeah.
it kind of gives me that same, well, there's vines that go up there. Can I jump? I can jump on these vines. Can I go up into that tree? If it kind of gives me that exploration vibe,
That would be cool.
all about it. And that's kind of the environments they showed us look like they might allow for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some pretty
Unfortunately, we
worlds.
didn't get any actual footage of exploring patrol areas or whatever they're going to call them, because technically you're just in the map.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Yeah.
let me go to patrol. It's like, no, patrol is in the map.
Yeah.
You're just landing on the zone, I guess,
Yeah.
or the planet.
Public events are going to show on the map,
Yeah.
right? When they're happening.
Yeah, with when they happen.
So cool.
Exciting.
The worlds are beautiful too. What is
Yeah.
it? What was it? Nessus? What was it?
Nessa? Oh my
It's
gosh.
all reddish, pink, magenta.
That was cool. They were all cool.
colors. Yeah.
Titan being
Still
just
no
an
Saturn.
ocean of... well, Titan is a moon of Saturn.
Moon of Saturn.
So,
Yeah. Water planets.
I mean, we've gotten close now with Titan and the Dreadnought.
Was
So
it Methane Ocean?
it was just methane oceans. And that's so cool. But I don't know what that's going to...
yeah.
It kind of, to me, seems like it might be a 1 or 2 mission kind of world.
Yeah.
Because you can't
A lot
do
of
too
jumping.
much.
A lot of
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of I love platforming. So
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So we've got Nessus, which is a machine world controlled by the Vex. Titan, a moon of Saturn. That's where Zavala retreats to.
Surprise.
A methane ocean and human architecture. European dead zone on Earth. And then we've got Io, a moon of Jupiter, which is apparently the last place the Traveler terraformed before the darkness showed up, which means there's going to be some significance to that place. It's kind of untouched.
I do have to make one quick apology to people in my community. I know this is just a reset, but I told everyone there was like a 99% chance that the European Dead Zone was not making an appearance in Destiny 2,
There it is.
and it was the Earth
Bro.
location.
Yeah.
And I've never been more wrong about Destiny. I've made some bad predictions and some good ones. That one was just like, guys, it's not happening. Just deal with it. Egg on my face.
You
So
gotta
cool
take
though.
that
A
one.
lot of Guardians want to go there.
Yeah, no, me too.
Very
It
cool.
looks really cool. I mean,
Yeah, all the environments look beautiful.
think Widow's Court in Destiny 1, just bigger. Like,
Yeah,
that's going to
right.
be real cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
So let's kind of walk through the stream reveal. I think that's the most important thing we can do is just kind of digest some of the information that we saw in that forum today, and then kind of talk about what we played. So, kicking it off, we started talking about the campaign, and we saw the opening cinematic that you talked about with Zavala, which was awesome.
Incredible.
Which
To see them using their supers, man.
Oh,
people
It
got
was-
really excited when
it
he did
was, yeah.
Fist of Havoc.
the first
So
Fist
cool.
of Havoc. And same with when he, later on, when he did the bubble,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even more so than I think anything else when Cade went Golden Gun.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
When Cade,
That was
and
cool.
I'm a Zavala guy, so when he did the smash and the bubble, I was
Mhm.
you know, bubbles don't get, they're not a sexy kind of
Yeah.
super.
They did it
but
right.
they
in
made
the
it
cinematic,
cool,
yeah.
but when he popped that golden gun, the place went
It did, yeah.
crazy.
Very cool.
Because it's Cade.
Yeah,
It had nothing to do with the gold.
I don't know. People have always talked about it, and they've never really done anything with it. This is the first time I think we've seen it.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
It was cool.
but no, that opening cinematic is, I think, arguably the most overlooked thing from this whole experience,
Yeah.
and the most important.
Well, in the quality of the CGI was
Oh.
super high.
There was parts where I was like, wait, are these actors?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that's gonna in a year that's gonna sound like I'm such an old man who just doesn't understand CGI, but it looked so good.
Yeah.
They did.
Their art is on point. So they kind of kicked it off, started talking about initially about the campaign and the reason that the city's under attack. Apparently, what was the bad guy Gaul's first name
Gary?
that they called him? Yeah, what is Gary's beginning of his title? They gave his full. Luke Smith gave his full title. I can't remember what it was.
No idea.
But apparently, this guy believes, which is really interesting from a lore perspective, this Cabal leader believes that they should have received the Traveler's gift of the light. So he's there to basically try to capture it.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit more of a
He's not just
complicated
wanting
villain
to
than,
destroy
like,
everything.
Let's just wipe everybody out.
Yeah.
Not as much of a servant of the darkness in that regards as like he's a kind of he's
got a motive.
jealous.
Yeah.
And Luke Smith compared to Alan Rickman's character.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Uh,
that got me excited. Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yeah.
That got me excited. Oh, I like Die Hard.
Yeah. Well, it's like I always like hearing the influences for like where the team like draws their influences for even something like that character. Like what kind of archetype are we basing this villain around? It kind of can tell you and inform you on what the story is going to be like. So that was pretty interesting. And then they roll up with this big device, and we've been wondering like how are they going to keep the light from us? And they have this huge device that they just stick on the freaking
Yeah,
traveler.
attached to it.
Like, yeah, we're just
We
gonna
played
roll
this-
up and we're gonna
Dude.
get a
Yeah.
giant tow truck and
Yeah.
we're just gonna cart this thing out of here.
It's like they
the
just
Cabal way.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, we're gonna play the best claw game ever, and we're gonna win the Traveler.
When we played the story mission the second time, right before we hopped out of there, like we were just piddle paddling with the menus and all that stuff, but I just stopped and looked at that for like a minute straight.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Yeah, I
cow.
did too.
Yeah.
As you play it, every time it's visible, it gets more and more engulfed
Mhm.
by this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
There was a lot of new. I wanted to be that guy that found the ghost in that mission.
know,
I was everywhere.
looking too.
I was everywhere. And then in the strike, you guys were like, let's just jump down here. I was like, hang on, there's a step over here. I found these like crevices, and I was like, I'm going to get there. And then I saw a
Yeah.
light at the end of one of them. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it. And then I get there, and there's just a light. And I was like, I'm going to kill you. I was going to be the guy. I was going to be the guy they run over and go, he found the ghost. He's the one. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, Last City is destroyed.
Of course.
Where they showed off, and we got to play as well the first mission. You know, basically you're trying to help hold things down, get some of the VIPs out, make sure that the citizens are escaping from the tower. A big takeaway, like there were NPCs in the mission.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool. And
See
I hope that we
Ikora
see-
jump up and
Oh,
over the
yes,
ship.
dude.
That was cool.
That was
Zabella's
neat.
popping his bubbles like, get
Yeah.
under here.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
You get
you
you
die.
Yeah,
you
you
die.
I did once. Yeah.
I died a couple of times, and it's funny because every single time I was playing, with the exception of that last time, I had people like right behind me, and I'm just sitting there going, "Well, I died. I know somebody just watched me die somewhere really dumb." So it was
Cyborg made me realize today that my card game in the tower isn't going to happen. I didn't put that
Not in the
together
tower.
yet. It's got to be somewhere
No,
else.
they showed the tower getting pretty beat up,
Yeah.
but they never showed the tower crippled on the ground. So there's
Yeah.
nothing to say that the tower, it's just
Yeah,
uninhabitable.
I don't think it's to say that everything is just completely obliterated, but obviously it's under occupation.
Yeah, oh, it's definitely
and
Cabal
it
occupied.
has to end somehow with us, saving the city from besiegement. I would think
Right.
that would be
Yeah.
the end of all the
But
campaign.
the big question then becomes, did the Cabal decide to keep on the staff, aka the sweeper bot, or did they bring in their own staff? That highlight of the sweeper bot was a pretty nice little touch.
Yeah, you're
It
running
was.
through the mission and sweeper bots in the hallway, just
And
like
highlighted, too.
You take that stuff for granted. It just shows you, I mean, obviously they should be, but how in tune they are with what we'll think is funny.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it was so awesome. Everything is familiar, but all the art is upgraded, and I don't know, dimensions of things are a little bit different. if
It's
that makes
not
sense.
built for an 11-year-old console anymore.
right.
They're not keeping it on consoles
All
that
the
came out
textures,
11
everything
years
just
ago.
looks so much better.
They do. And they did some really cool stuff. The reaction when, I know we're not really going in chronological order, but the reaction when those doors open where Xur stands
Oh, yeah.
sometimes,
Dude,
Yeah.
yes.
it
when-
was like, the
doors
just
open!
happened! It just happened!
and
Like,
there's
the whole
vendor
place.
carts, and so apparently it was
Yeah.
like the shopping center that we can't,
Yeah.
go to for the past 3 years.
So cool.
Which would have been a much cooler place to go for something like the Eververse Trading Company or something, but yeah, swing and a miss.
We pretty much talked through the first mission. I mean, that's the highlights.
Well, then you
get
go
through
up
there.
onto the ship,
Yeah, then you get brought up to one of the big ships.
and Amanda Holiday plays a role, which was cool.
Picks you up, yeah.
Drops you
Yeah,
out.
fights you, drops you off on this big ship. You fight a baddie, and then you go through some doors, and there's Gal, Gary, and a little cutscene that apparently Cabal speaks English now. So
Yeah,
I
there's
mean, if
that.
you're going to take over the world, you might, or the galaxy, you might as
I
well.
kind of want him to be like,
And-
and
and
the
it-
ghost is like, I think he's mad.
I mean, that's true.
Maybe
but
just a growl.
also, to be fair, in most of these, it's called common, not English. They speak common. But I would just I want your opinions. What do you guys think about what I'm going to refer to as the Cabal delivery service? Those things that the
Oh, yeah.
cabals.
Oh, the Cabals.
The Cabals.
And then they
I
just
totally
kind
got
of
killed by one
they
of those.
disintegrate.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like-
Disintegrate,
on the
and then there's
tower.
Cabal.
But I didn't know what they were until you get up to the ship and they're launching off the ship. Which,
Yeah,
for the record,
it's
if you
pretty cool.
land on one, they will launch with you and you will die.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's interesting, but I don't fully understand it because they're these physical things that they have ships built to launch as almost like ODST from Halo.
Yeah.
But then they hit and
Like
they're just
drop troopers
and they're
just-
gone.
Well, I mean,
Realistically, is it wrong for me to think of
Yeah.
that as a waste
They
of
seem a little
resources?
fragile
they're-
to
no,
carry
I mean,
a big
they're
Cabal.
transmatting.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh, okay.
we're constantly doing with weapons in the game. It's the same technology.
Yeah.
I'd like to step back and just remind everyone
It doesn't
how
make
nerdy we
sense,
are.
but in the rules of the universe, like
It works.
transmuting.
I think
or
it's just
whatever
the
it is
animation
exists.
of how they disappear that makes them that actual object seems fragile. It just disintegrates, and then out of it comes a
Yeah.
massive Cabal.
just a whole bunch of guys ready to
Yeah.
fight you.
Yeah.
I had one fall, and one hit the ground, and one Cabal came out of it. And I was like, did you just get in the wrong one? Or
Yeah.
did nobody want to go with you? Like, I just want to know.
Yeah.
So,
But they, as far as campaign, it's promised way more cinematics than before, longer, bigger campaign, obviously. So that's all pretty exciting.
Well, it seems like just in what we saw today that our characters, I mean, we're getting our characters in the story. You know, if that same idea that we saw in that mission today continues, then we're getting what we wanted.
Yeah.
yeah.
Characters that we want to see more and hear more from. in
just
the
more
cinematic
life
Yeah,
in the game, like in the missions, in the zones. It's not just you and enemies running around. Like there's people that live in the world, that make it real.
Next question is, how much will our Guardian actually talk in Destiny 2?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a good question. They did enough talking in the first game. It's just you stopped playing story missions so early on.
Right.
So it kind of depends on, is there commentary? I'd be kind of curious to know if there's more commentary between the Guardian and the Ghost when you're exploring and things. I would find that to be hard to think is going to be realistic.
I think they're gonna pull a Halo and they're not gonna speak anymore, because if you look at like some vid docs and stuff they did, like Rise of Iron, and I think even the Taken King, like they kind of brushed over that topic and how they wanted it to. They want the player
they want
to occupy it, and that's why they didn't have characters speaking, and that could be the philosophy.
I will say though, if they let me buy Snoop Dogg as my voice, but I mean, there's like a bunch of bullet points to go over, but I feel like people want to know some stuff, like FPS and how things play, and like the actual game itself, and like that kind of information.
We need to get into some of that. So moving forward, Crucible, big bullet point, everything's 4v4.
Everything.
From here on out. And we talked to a couple of Bungie devs who said like that was a specific choice so that, for one, maps that used to be okay for 3s and not for 6s and vice versa, they wouldn't have that problem anymore. Now they design everything around 4s, so all maps are suited for multiple game types and scenarios, which I think is a smart move. And obviously they want things to be competitively
well, and
oriented.
Most competitive gaming is 4v4.
Well, they mentioned Trials in the keynote. That's really all we heard of Trials. So we assume Trials will also obviously be 4v4 because all the game modes are. So that instantly made me think 6v6 is fun for Iron Banner. So your immediate response, Cyborg, was, well, maybe Iron Banner's not coming back.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Bring it up.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the whole point of Iron Banner? Was to train us to defeat Siva or something? I mean, does it have a purpose anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
It would seem weird if Iron Banner went away, though. It's kind of the monthly. We've always had that.
Listen, if they don't give me the Queen's event the third week of Destiny 2 and then never do it again, I'm going to be pissed.
if they week 2.
Because if they never do that, I'm going to be so upset. I want that 1 week with that weird event that makes no sense, that gives us a weapon that we'll never be able to get again, the Supremacy Sniper in this case.
Yeah. I love small team-based game modes, though.
Which, of course, we saw the new mode. What was it called?
Countdown.
Yep.
Round based. Yeah.
2 different scenarios for you to win. You can eliminate everybody. You can plant a charge and have it explode, or you can disarm a charge, which also ends the round. So that it's not like you disarm it and they get a chance till it counts down.
You can win if your whole team is dead and they don't disarm. We did.
Right.
We won a round today where
Yeah.
our whole team was dead and they didn't have enough time to disarm.
Do we know what was the name of the map we were on? Did it say?
No idea.
No idea. Yeah,
The city map.
Yeah, city map.
It felt very much like
Bannerfall ish,
Bannerfall,
but just a little more
I
corners.
I would
corners
say it looked like it could easily attach to Bannerfall, but I don't think it felt.
It felt like you're in a city on ground level.
Yeah.
And
It felt a little, honestly, it felt a
European
little
dead zone.
unfair on one spawn side. You could get to that one demo point quick on one spawn.
Yeah.
Super quick. And then you put those, which we'll talk about, those passive abilities, throw up a shield, and you're in business.
One of the rounds we sent, it was completely on accident. 3 people went one way, 1 person went the other, and the other team all went to the 3, and that 4th person planted the bomb, and the other team didn't know what to do. That's the one where we all wiped, and we still won because they were too far behind.
There was also a round where we split up 2 and 2. None of us ended up dying, and I mean, we just executed accidentally, like spot on, and just destroyed the other team.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely can see where you get some strategy for sure going.
It was a really fun game type, and it was elimination style.
Yeah,
you have to.
As soon as I saw rounds, I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this.
And it shows you now when the other people have supers, so it doesn't say who, but
at the top.
It'll give you
and
at the
also
top
who is dead.
Who
Yeah,
a scroll if
right.
you're dead
Yeah.
for that class.
It shows the super at the top, and you guys said it'll fill. The color will fill when they have it,
fills up
right?
when they have it. Yep.
We were talking about that. So.
It's the strategy in this is going to be very intense.
Yeah,
very
it's going to
different.
change. It's going to change.
We'll probably talk in part 2 about kind of the feel of how the Crucible was, at least of the little bit that we got to play. But I had a great time.
Yeah, it was fun.
In the mode and with the new weapon.
Yeah, do we want to talk about
balance.
that right now for a second? The weapon
I just want to say,
save that nuance for
Okay.
next part.
part 2?
Yeah.
It's different, guys.
Yeah. It just, everything is balanced a little bit differently, so there's things to talk about there.
Well, you talking about damage?
Yeah, damage.
I'm just
and
talking about
different-
the
Yeah, well, of course,
kinetic.
you've
Yeah.
got the different layout of the weapons now, right?
Yeah. So
which plays way
we'll let
different.
that settle in a bit more.
I just want to
Yeah.
say that the PC Crucible felt really good. And so I play a little bit more
For the
PC.
guy that plays PC.
Yeah.
I play a little bit, and I'm not a PC gamer, but I play a little bit
We,
more PC than you guys do, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we
Man,
we
I
went
enjoyed
and kind of moseyed around the PC area that was supposed to be, I guess, slotted times, and we were talking to a dev, and they snuck us on about 10 minutes after we just kind of floated around, and Ranger wanted to just go back immediately.
Oh my gosh! Just because that was the difference to me, and I have to point it out at this point. Console is a solid 30, caps at 30. Right. PC is variable up past 200.
You know, we were talking to Triple Rec too, though, and he had mentioned that he's not. I don't remember if Nick, the Bungie dev, told us 100. I know he said PC for sure, variable up to 200. He kind of just nonchalantly said 30 on console, and Triple was. I mean, I don't know.
It was confirmed by someone.
Confirmed
else.
30.
Yeah,
okay,
confirmed 30 on
because we were still thinking speculation. Maybe the final build will be 60 on console.
So I don't know how far we go into naming names here, but somebody reliable had it confirmed from somebody reliable that it was 30. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
And so it is 30, and it looked just like Destiny. Like, I don't want to say it looks better because it's built for current gen consoles, and it's going to be optimized.
Those monitors were pretty sick too.
Yeah. But I'm saying even on console, it looked great for console, but on PC, it is
those
a
ships
totally other animal. Like, it looked different. I think you said it even looked kind of slower. Because it's smooth as butter. It is unbelievable. I'm not one of those people. I play Overwatch a lot, and I can tell it's 60, but going back to Destiny, it doesn't throw me off. Going back to Destiny on console after playing it on the PC for a bit was almost like a shock to the system.
Well, the other thing is I immediately think of is after we realized a complete curveball we got today of the Blizzard thing.
Oh yeah,
it made me realize. They had this strategized already because PC would have done fine, but now, holy cow! Like it's gonna just go crazy probably with that partnership.
I think it's gonna be big.
Yeah,
and I really hope that Blizzard pumps out a game in the same genre.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's wild speculation at this point, but
I don't know if they need to now. Destiny's on there.
Well, it's just on their servers.
Yeah, no, but I mean. Obviously, they've got motivation there. There's a reason they did it,
Yeah, that's true. Well, I know Blizzard is working on another shooter.
Yeah.
So, and they said it's not Overwatch style. So, it's all. That stuff makes me excited because there's no other game in the genre. And I don't want to replace Destiny, but having another game in the genre wouldn't be a bad thing. Because then it actually pressures Bungie to do better.
It'd almost be kind of a conflict of interest at this point, though, when they've got Destiny on their app.
Well, but it's not even necessarily on their servers. Like, it's just available through their
it seems
platform.
So weird to me, though, because they haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was some talks that happened here. Like, there's some major...
Well, this could be a really big growth opportunity for Blizzard as...
I mean, you were whispering in my ear Steam, and we're all like, yeah, it's Steam.
Yeah.
Steam. And they were like, what?
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a pleasant curveball. Let's talk about the new class abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can call them subclasses. I don't know. I guess they're reworked classes.
Talk about what we played the most, which is
we mostly got to play the Warlock,
which was great.
Flame Sword class.
Yeah,
Dawn
the
Blade.
was it the Dawnbreaker?
Dawnbreaker. Well, it definitely. I think the Titan Void ability is probably the most unique they came up with, but the other two obviously borrow heavily from other classes.
I think the only reason that what I'm going to refer to as, and this is only my opinion, the new Blade Dancer. I think the only reason that I'm hung up on that is because it's at least with the Warlock, I feel it takes strongly from Sunbreaker, but it's now the Warlocks get to play with it, whereas the new Blade Dancer is on the same class.
On the Blade Dancer.
It's like, hey, we've replaced the Blade Dancer with a Blade Dancer.
The thing is about it too, though, we
haven't
did
seen
we
the
see
whole
what it can do?
spectrum.
Yeah. And I totally get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because it does. It's just a spear, but it's like I wonder what they can do.
It's just like with the Warlock ability. There's several different offensive capabilities. Like you can do it on the ground, or you can float in the air. You can throw it, or you can hit stuff with it. You can slam on the ground.
Yeah.
So there's all these different ways to use it.
They are much more dynamic supers. As a whole, all the supers are much more dynamic.
I will say though,
based, very, very dynamic.
I wasn't sure about the shielding Titan until he meleeed with it and threw it. And then I was
he's
okay,
Captain America.
Yeah.
He's Captain America.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I'm with you. We're both Titans. I think we both saw that and said, if you replace my Ward of Dawn with a little shield that I just kind of a little bit with, and then he hits, and I go, yep, that looks exactly like to me, I was like, that's the relic in Vault of Glass. Yeah. I've seen these motions. You're stealing. You're very, very heavily using that. And then he threw it. And he came back to him after one.
That's cool.
And then he threw it. It bounced off 2 or 3. And I don't know if it was gone after that or what, but I was like, oh, okay. I'm on it now.
The other thing I wanted to say about the Blade Dancer is there you go. But actually, what I wanted to say about it as a counterpoint is that out of the 3 we saw during the presentation, as much as I agree with you that it looks just like a Blade Dancer, I think the crowd got the loudest when they saw that Hunter one, and the choreography, if you will, that was going on with that.
Well, here's why I think. First off, I think they got the loudest during the gameplay when the Warlock started throwing the swords. Yeah. That was the loudest, but
they got pretty loud when the Hunter started going crazy.
Here's why, because I heard that too, and I recently did a poll, and the Hunters weren't the favorite either. Actually, it was Titans were the favorite, but I think they showed Titan first. And then, or Warlock, and then, no, Titan, then Warlock, then Hunter. And if you'll notice, they got louder and louder every time, because I don't think people realized we were doing the, cheer for what you like thing yet until we got to the end.
That's a good point.
But that's not to say that they're all cool. I'm not taking away. I'm not saying it's a competition. By any means. They're all
It's cool. The most similar to the previous.
It is. Yeah. And I think really the only reason I feel that way is because it's on the same class. If it was on a different class, if a Titan popped, a bow staff and started flying around smashing things, people would be like, what is that Titan doing? And it would be different. But because it's basically more of the same.
Right.
From what we can tell.
Have like the reworking of some of the existing classes, like the Striker Titan especially.
The roaming Striker.
I got to play it when we played PvP, and I only got my super once in that game mode, and I slammed and then died. I didn't even get to experience the roaming part of it. I
did in the Strike.
Okay.
And you pop it, and there's an initial strike, and then you can basically run around and either shoulder charge with it or keep slamming the ground, which is really fun.
Which the next topic is movement for the Striker has changed, because
there's no
doesn't seem like they're skating, and it also
there's no Warlock surfing,
and I wonder if you can only shoulder charge in that super.
I did not see a shoulder charge ability on the subclass. So now that I think about it,
tweaking us Titans,
and then you've got the Gunslinger, has a couple unique abilities.
Dude, shade stepping Gunslinger.
It was a little weird.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
6-shot Goldie.
I got my super once in that PvP match that we did on the PS4. Died immediately, never fired the gun. So got a lot of experience in with it. I actually had what was it? The Dawnbreaker coming at me. I'm going to keep calling it that.
Yeah.
I had a Dawnbreaker coming at me.
Dawnbreaker.
And I was like, I'm going to stop him. And I do whoosh, poof, and I just died. I put my hand up in the air with that gun and just took a sword to the chest and was
that
like,
was something
I'm out.
a lot of, like, several people pointed out is if all the supers move to roaming supers, like, there may not be that twitch like Striker Titan has, where it's like, oh, there's a Blade Dancer, slam, you're dead. Like, if they're all roaming supers and to pop it, they all have a wind up, then it's not going to be as easy to shut people down like it used to be.
Yeah.
It'd be a much different game. Like, you're going to have to evade more, get the hell out of the way, pick your shot, you know.
The most important thing to talk about here, I think, as well, is that we're sharing what we got to play and what we saw, but the whole point of this game is that we lose those abilities and have to get them back.
Right.
And
so this is like after we've re-earned them.
Yeah, so is it though, or is it before we lost them?
I'm assuming it's where this is what we played is after we have earned them again.
No, not the mission, the story mission.
The first mission, though.
And so we already have new subclasses.
I find it unlikely that we're going to start the mission with that subclass.
Oh, I would doubt it as well. I would like to
think that we're going to go, like, learn that.
I think the first mission, I would be willing to bet the first mission is a fully spec'd out, because they have said we are going to have to redo all of our subclasses again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be no shortcuts. But I think that first mission, if you're a Warlock, you're going to have a fully spec'd Nova Bomb, just like D1. You know, it's going to have D1,
something like
that. You might not even be able to change it. It might just be a fixed build.
Right.
And then you go through the mission, and at the end, because it's not as they showed it, where everyone, all of a sudden, it's just gone. They've taken the light, and you can't even walk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happens then? Like, is it permadeath? Can you imagine if there's like 2 permadeath missions in Destiny? How many people would be like, I'm done. I can't do. There's no supers, no grenades. I can't jump. If I die, it's over. Nope.
I feel like in this combo too, before we move on, we need to talk about the spec tree and the passive abilities. The spec tree was different. We got to pick out of a couple different.
There's some alternating nodes that you got to pick for certain abilities.
Warlock we played the most. There's healing and
then there's
a buff.
Super related nodes to pick from to customize that, and then there's like, I wouldn't call them like, I guess they're passive or active abilities, but you had to unlock them with some kind of item, and a lot of those weren't open. Like the Warlock has a mid-air Twilight Garrison evade thing now,
which you've been wanting for a while.
I will say, as far as the UI goes in that area, I did not like it. I found it to be confusing, and I found it to be not very user friendly. The old one was.
It looked pretty.
It looked very pretty.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; it's like a desktop background. Oh
yeah,
but the functionality of it, the old one, yes, you look at it now compared to that, and it's just a bunch of nodes. But this set of nodes is your super, this set of nodes is your melee, this set of nodes is your grenade. It made sense, and I knew where to place it. These 3 changed my recovery and my speed and whatnot. This, it's like, well, over here is this, and over here is that, and over here, it doesn't, I feel like what I click changes everything.
It's definitely the most changed menu screen, for sure.
Everything else is pretty familiar as far as the UI.
Do either one of you try to drop a heavy synthesis? Because that whole screen wasn't there.
There's no inventory screen that you could access.
There was no accessible inventory screen.
I think that was on purpose.
I agree, but I'm just saying, I have no idea what to expect from that, because we were in the strike, and I was like, I will say this, I only had like 3 or 4 shots with my heavy in that whole strike that we played.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh, maybe I'll just drop a heavy. Maybe they gave us a couple heavy. Oh, that screen doesn't exist yet. So
it took me a minute to get used to, which, like you said, I don't know if we want to call them passive abilities, but that third ability now where Titans can drop shields, evade on the Hunter, and the Warlock had the healing and the buff.
Yeah, the healing and the
We
damage.
played 3 rounds of Countdown before I realized, oh hey, I'm a Titan. I've got a shield. I can drop this right in front of the demo point. Yeah.
It changes a lot. I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm going to say this.
And by shield, I mean not the
wanted
shield
to-
subclass, but the actual
it's
barrier.
kind of like Roland
Yeah.
from Borderlands. If anyone played that,
Yeah.
drops the it doesn't have a turret.
That was
When
my
it
character,
drops the
man.
Nobody else had. I didn't see anybody use it, but there's a. Alternatively, instead of dropping a shield, you can block entire entryways.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to block an entrance to a hallway,
That's crazy.
you could
That's
use
cool.
that ability and make a wall.
And I actually,
over
that's
that
what I
doorway.
did when we were playing that one Countdown.
Did you?
There was one guy left. I didn't do that exactly, but I took one of those abilities and I blocked off one doorway so that
Yeah.
he couldn't come in and defuse.
Yeah.
It's like there's not
Changes
much you can
it
do
up.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that half wall you can put down, though, I can't believe I'm saying this. I not only used the cover mechanic, but I thought to myself, Take a Knee has a home now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
And
on
Guerrilla Fighter.
Guerrilla Fighter, Take a Knee.
Yeah.
Those perks have a home now, and I'm pretty sure I talked to somebody who saw Take a Knee on a sniper.
Okay.
So it exists, and what makes it different is you can see through this wall prior to, otherwise.
Coming out of cover,
right
yeah.
now, you're behind a solid wall, and you're like, I hope there's nothing there, or I hope there's something there. You pull that trigger, and you're over the top of it, and you have to figure out from there. It's clear right now. So all you do is pop the trigger, and you're popping up and down. And it's like, this makes sense. You can use this for cover mechanics. You know what's coming at you. You know what to prepare for. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because
So-
For sure.
We've got about 10 minutes, so I want to cover 2 things before we run out of time. Number 1, exploration. And then number 2, the new clan and
Right.
guided activity options, which I think are a really big deal. So, of course, I want to talk about what I'm most excited about, which was the exploration and the fact that there's going to be a lot of different things to find.
Mhm.
And we actually get a map. We're going to have patrol, treasure maps. You can choose your landing zone in a zone. There's going to be NPCs in the world, public events with heroic or heroic achievements, or I think it was like objectives. Heroic objectives is what he called it. Hidden dungeons called Lost Sectors that you have to find. All that stuff sounds pretty exciting. I know that you sounded like you were pretty interested in that.
It's all like that kind of stuff. I totally did. They came close to some of that in Rise of Iron. It just wasn't enough because they had those gated off areas you needed to have the splicer keys to get in and out of. Which
They're
was
definitely playing with.
they played with that already because
you know?
there's that one room in there's a couple of them, but there's one that I think they might even use for one of the quest stories or whatever in Rise of Iron, where
You
it's
can only go,
it's a bigger room. It has a couple of chests in it. There's usually like a stronger
Walker.
not this is an interior room
Okay.
that you actually use a key to get into, and you can get into it whenever. But it's a
with the generator in it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that
know
one.
what you're talking about.
And there's usually like a stronger enemy of some sort in there, as well as a bunch of mobs. And when you kill them all, there's a couple chests, and there's a chance. I think there's a Siva node in there and stuff. But they kind of toyed with that in Rise of Iron.
So how cool will it be to be on patrol? You find an entrance to a cave, dive down there, and then you're like in a dungeon for 5 or 10 minutes.
It would
like,
be great.
exploring. They said there's going to be a treasure key or something.
There's going to
in
be a
the
chest,
dungeon.
and the boss is going to have the key.
Okay, yeah.
So you're going to have to kill something.
That's awesome, dude.
yeah.
That's cool.
So you can dive down there and get loot.
I just
Maybe you
hope
can
that's
grind 'em.
like, I wonder immediately how, because they talked about it a little bit today, how you play the game is going to be different as far as your activities. Because they still mentioned, of course, a Nightfall, and we played a Strike. But I hope those aspects make the game feel more alive, and like you're going out to explore like you want Cyborg, and you can do that multiple times, go in there, kill that boss, get the treasure, and it makes it feel like the world's more alive, not loading into a Strike and repeating that over and over again.
I think it depends on how much they give us to play with on each of the planets. Because when I looked at Titan looked like it was going to be more like Phobos is in the current game, where it has a mission or two on it. There's no social space.
Think about how much there was to do when we first got the Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I imagine that these world.
Remember when the Dreadnought was amazing, and now everyone's like, I never want to go back there.
It got a little oppressive after a while,
Yeah.
but that was the art direction.
Yeah.
But there was so much to find.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
it's not an easy
That
undertaking
director
for them
made
though.
this game.
Yeah.
Figuring out all those
Even-
different chests and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Even in these new worlds, it's just not an easy undertaking because we're getting events back. We mentioned they'll be showing up on the radar. We have these dungeons, if you will, but
Yeah.
it's like, what can they do? What layer can they add to make it replayable for longer than
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks? A
I
month.
think I think it's a question of like how well do they hide secrets?
Yeah.
So that we're not going to find everything the first time you run
Yeah.
through the
Right.
whole area. How big is the map?
Right.
How many layers are there to
Yeah.
stuff?
Which
And then we've
we
got NPCs that we're going to run across in the
out
world
in the world give us
with
quests.
missions
Yeah.
and stuff. to do
That's
as well.
it. I mean, we replay the game now, so any extra layer of that in the sequel is going to be great.
I just told a coworker of mine who was a year 1 player. He only played for a couple months. He got a Vex on his first run. I hate him. He's like, yeah, I had everything, so I didn't want to play anymore. I was like, Vex? No. But I told him about the Black Spindle quest and how a couple guys just doofing around in the daily, just one of them stumbled into it, and how that was so cool. And
Yeah.
just give me more of that
More
stuff.
of that.
Give me more of that stuff that, and I would love it. I'm the kind of person who we're how far into Rise of Iron right now, because that's technically what we're still on is Rise
Yeah.
of Iron. If someone found an exotic that we didn't know existed in a quest that it was buried under a hatch or something, like, I want stuff that we don't find for months. I want stuff where they're questioning whether or not they made it too hard to find, because then there's surprises for us to find later because we find everything. So
Right.
make something really tough.
Yeah.
I would love that.
So let's talk about clan integration and matchmaking.
I think the clan integration is going to be, it's depending on how they implement it, because they didn't really tell us in black and white today. I think
Showed a bit of the UI.
it's going to be huge for the Dirt fam and communities like that, I think,
Yeah.
because we're going to be able to welcome new Guardians in through the game. They showed us the screen where you accept, decline. My immediate question was, what prompts that queue? Can you do
That was
That's
going
guided.
into the guided activities.
Can you do a search
Yeah.
for a specific clan, or does
Yeah,
it just start
yeah.
filtering
I think
clans
that's
for
too
you?
much detail to
Yeah,
try to worry about right now. I think the bigger picture is that
my thought is,
we'll be able to manage, the whole clan integration better
for sure.
within the game, access the membership.
Yeah.
Um,
My thought is the solo guardian who's heard of the Dirt fam or an equivalent community, and they're
sure
like,
that they could find us.
search
You
it
could search
in-game,
for them particularly.
accept, and they get
I
grouped up with 5
I
of
think
us.
that browsing screen was like if someone were I want to play this activity and they choose they want to guide it, and then it probably shows here's everybody that's doing that guided activity
Right
right
now.
now that's available.
Yeah.
And you can go through and like, all right, who do you want to play
It's
with?
cool though. It is really cool.
Which I think is going to be a really big deal for the average player that probably maybe picked this up with their buddies, doesn't have a huge network of friends that may be playing it.
Mhm.
Like just like a lot of us when we first came into the game, we didn't have clans, we didn't have this community, we didn't have a ton of content creators to rally around. Like it was just people.
Right.
And if you're that in that position when you come into the game, there you have tools instantly for you to go and do these activities for the first time. Like I didn't do the vaulted class for like a month.
Right. That's
Because we
wild.
were too intimidated.
Yeah.
Like all we knew was just this epic thing, and we didn't even have 6 people
Yeah.
to get together.
You want to go find strangers and do this thing that took a team 12 hours to beat? Yeah,
Exactly. So now for people to have that opportunity, and that's like Luke said, like 50% is not good enough. Like for people to have that opportunity to get with strong clans.
It was
get
cool.
help.
When the Bungie dev was up there talking about it, she said, I think in words similar, they're going to try this like it's something that they've come up with as a solution to matchmaking that isn't matchmaking, and they want to try it. They just want to see how it works.
Yeah.
And I think it does a good job. And one of the things they pointed out that I think is very important is they said there are people who don't want to be in a clan and they play solo. This is an option. And I thought that was huge. Real quick anecdotal. I met a guy who a friend of mine found on Reddit saying, I need help with this mission. It was Taken King. I need help with this mission right now. I don't know what to do. We ended up joining him. He was like 3 hours into trying to finish this mission. We did it first try. When it gave us the end screen, he had 2,000 kills. He had been going at it for hours, and he just didn't know where to turn. And he's like, I can't beat this. It was for one of the quest lines. Yeah. So
they mentioned too, though, they mentioned the game is still, they want it to be accessible to a solo player, but they very quickly started focusing on this clan implementation and stuff that's fantastic. But then they did never really go back to the solo player.
It's true.
So I wonder, there seems like there's something there, but they didn't visit.
The game is very based on multiplayer, though. So.
Yeah. But how about this clan reward system?
Oh, yeah, we can all help each other get rewards.
But what are the rewards?
What are the rewards, and is it going to show, like, who, like Cyborg did this since you last were on?
Is that important? Because then you know who's carrying the clan.
Yeah, true.
I think it's a group endeavor.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point.
But no, I would like to know what you earn and how quickly you earn it.
Yeah.
As a group, I'd like them to take into effect, like, if you're talking about, I know Triple Rex clan is huge. And if you've got 6,000 people in your clan,
you're going to get it quicker. Basically.
Do you get it quicker, or do they take that into effect and say, you all got to work together on this?
Yeah.
I think it'll be quicker, but is it?
It's probably going to be something like, probably going to be something like raid completions, or once you so I don't know, then they would hit it quicker. But anyways, all right, Cyborg's got to get on a plane.
I'm about to go get on a plane. I'm literally packing up while we're talking. So we're gonna put this up, and we're gonna record part 2 from our lovely, warm, or cool homes. Since we've been sweating all day.
Yeah, I'm dying right now.
And we hope you guys enjoy this kind of first take from what we saw. We've got plenty more to talk about, obviously.
Plenty more.
This was a lot of fun.
Hope you guys enjoyed our spamming feeds today.
Yep.
And thank you guys for helping us get here. So,
as always, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter and www.destinyresetpodcast.com. That's your source for all things Destiny Reset, including links to subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. Go there. Be sure to subscribe.
They know where to find us.
You know where to find us
at this point. All right. Until this weekend, have fun playing Destiny and take care, Guardians.
We're out.
We move it. We move it. We move it.